Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch.
Hello and welcome to Prospect Watch, a podcast that focuses solely on the discovery and promotion of some of the best young talent in the game today from all reaches of the world. I'm your host, Lance Green, and of course joining me, as always, is my co-host, Steel. Steel, how are you?
Oh man, I'm doing fantabulous. Lance, we got an amazing young talent sitting in here with us today, do we not?
We do. This week, we're lucky enough to get the chance to sit down with one of the stars of the USHL this season, a forward named John Mustard from the Waterloo Blackhawks. John, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Better now. Yeah, we get to talk
John,
some hockey, right? All right.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, Lance, why don't you let the folks know a little bit about John so they can get clued in like we are?
Right. So, guys, if you're not familiar with this young man, let me clue you in here. Mustard is a fast-rising prospect that has NHL scouts drooling right now. And while he is only 17 years old, I promise you that you won't know it because this young man plays the game the way a more seasoned or refined player does, right? He has a lethal shot and is an exceptional skater. And when you pair that with his high motor and on-ice instincts, he really is a prospect who could develop to be a threat at the pro level. This season, he scored 29 goals and assisted for 27 for a total of 56 points in 60 games played. So with all that being said, Steel, I don't want to get into too much. We did articles on John before, so you can go to the website, SteelFlyers.com, guys, and see that as well. But Steel, how about you start off? I'm ready to ask this young man some questions. How about you?
I know, man. I'm ready to talk to him about his game, man. I'll tell you what, everything that I've seen about your game, John, has been exactly what Lance has described. You have a great motor, you have a great shot, you have good IQ, you have good instincts. You know what I mean? So we're going to focus in on some of those great things. So fans get a better feel of what type of player you are. What type of NHL player do you think maybe you model your game after, or somebody you kind of emulate a little bit?
Yeah, I like to watch Jack Hughes. I think, especially with the puck, I think he's just a fun player to watch, and I like to take some parts of his game for sure.
That's definitely a good young player, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good model, you know.
Yeah.
Does pretty well for himself for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you give us one part of your game that you feel is maybe overlooked, given some of your other amazing traits that we've already kind of laid out there?
I'd say like the tenacity on forecheck. I think just being hard on the puck. I think that's something that gets overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely underrated. Not everybody's willing to go into those board battles and stand in front of the net and get, kind of beat up on to be able to put back a nice juicy rebound or screen that goalie so somebody from the point can get that puck in there. So those are definitely, admirable traits that you possess for sure. And maybe some teams overlook. So, I think that's a pretty good answer, Steele.
Well, one thing that the general manager of the Waterloo Blackhawks didn't overlook was definitely your talent, for sure. But can you get into what was the biggest change going from your youth hockey to playing for the Waterloo Blackhawks? Like, what was it like to go to that next step?
I think it was the pace of the league. I think the USHL is like such a fast, skilled league. So it definitely took a couple games to get used to the speed and how quickly space closes.
Okay. So that was something that you had to adjust to coming up through was learning to like be a little bit more quicker on your skates or more quicker on your reactions.
Yeah, I think it was mainly just reading the play like to the future and just reading what's going to happen in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think in those, junior level leagues where you came from, you know, you're obviously one of the better players on that team, and you may have had a little extra time there. And when you jump up to something like the USHL to play in, everybody is that fast-paced player, that best player from their league still. So I mean, that adjustment sometimes gets people, but John was able to have so much success in his first year of with the Blackhawks that is just phenomenal in my mind. So
I know, I agree. I agree. But no, that's a good way to do that, because that's one of the things that you have to do is adjust that, you know what I mean, to go from that league to this league, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah, I think in years prior, I think you kind of have a little bit of time to read and react. In the USHL, you kind of just react to what you see on the ice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've all seen what you did well this season, but what is one part of your game that you feel you'll be trying to work this off season to improve upon?
I think it's just rounding out my 200-foot game and just being better on back checks and tracking back in the zone and yeah, just being more focused in the D zone, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, man, those are all good things as well too, you know, things to build on as well. And so, John, can you give us a little bit of insight on what it was like to be drafted into the USHL and being brought into the Blackhawks? What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was a cool experience. It was pretty late in the draft. I didn't really know. I was kind of nervous at the end of the draft, but I was glad to be picked, and I knew I still had a lot of work to do and to make the team. So I think it was kind of good that I kind of flew under the radar a little bit and was able to earn my own role.
Yeah, I
I'll
bet
say
there's a
you
lot of
did.
I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of teams out there that were regretting not drafting you for sure after the season you had. So they're probably kicking themselves right now. But good for Waterloo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, most athletes at your level do not only excel at one sport, they enjoy playing others as well. So what, if any, other sports would you say you enjoy or excel at?
I played pretty competitive lacrosse up until about 2 years ago. So that was a sport I thought that really helped my hockey skills. I think just the hand-eye and building my stamina. I think those were the two main things.
Yeah, it takes a
Okay.
lot running up and down that field for sure.
As a midi, yeah, it's pretty tiring.
Yeah, I was a goalie in ice hockey, and lacrosse. I tried to play goalie too, but had the instinct of kicking my leg out all the time. So I got some nice bruises. Instead of using that big stick to turn around and catch the ball, I would just kick my leg out like I had leg pads on still. So yeah, that didn't work out so well for me there. So
Good deal. So you like lacrosse? That was something that you really enjoy doing, other than so. Well, who or whom or what introduced you to hockey? What was it that got you into hockey? Where did this whole thing? I mean, you talked about playing competitive lacrosse, and that's completely. I mean, it's somewhat similar to hockey, but how do we get into
how'd that
this
come
love of
about?
being
Yeah.
on the ice?
Yeah, I think it was mainly my dad. He played growing up and being born. I mean, growing up in a suburb of Toronto, it's kind of like
Expected.
everyone does it. Yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
it's pretty common out there. So I just found a love for it right as I started playing it.
Okay, and you said your dad used to play?
Yeah, my dad played. Yeah, he played in Ontario.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. Does he still kind of give you, like, does he still give you pointers, and like, do you still talk to him on a daily basis, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just lets me do my own thing. I think he likes when I just learn from the coaches. He tries to stay away from the learning part of it and let me grow on my own, kind of, which I like.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's a real good way. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I'm sure by now you at least had some discussions with NHL scouts and management and things like that. So, they try to get a better feel of their players and whom they will be selecting. So I don't want to know whom you've been talking to or what teams, but can you give an example of one of the weirdest questions maybe you got so far from one of them?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think there's been many weird questions. I think maybe coming up in the near future there might be maybe near
as the draft comes closer. Yeah,
there may be a couple, but they've been pretty generic, just common questions. So it hasn't been too tough. Yeah.
Trying to get a basic feel for you. I know once it comes closer, they throw some weird ones at you sometimes. So
I'll be prepared.
Yeah, be ready, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, at least you'll know that they'll be coming out your way. You know what I mean? So, all right, John, I gotta ask this. At one point, I used to be a chef, and so I like to ask all of the players that we talk to, do you have a favorite pregame meal? Or is that something that you and if so, what is your favorite pregame meal?
I'd probably say pasta and chicken. I think or maybe rice and chicken. Just one of those. I usually eat those before every game, pretty much.
Okay. No sauce, just plain.
I like maybe butter on it, or I don't like too much sauce on it though before games.
Okay. So see, I'm with you on that. I like plain grilled chicken, right? Or plain right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right. I'm with you on that. Okay.
That's a pretty common answer. It's a pretty common answer that we get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some protein, some carbs, and
now, do you know how to make it yourself?
Not yet. No.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, I'm a goalie, lifelong goalie. So, give me one person, maybe in the league, the USHL, who you thought was maybe the hardest goalie to score on this year. Guy who simply had your number.
Yeah, I'd say Cedar Rapids had a goalie. His last name was Norton.
Okay.
We played him a bunch of times. I just couldn't find the holes to score against him. He was a good goalie.
Yeah, I think you got a pretty good one. You probably go up against in practice too. There.
Yeah. Both the goalies were really good in Waterloo. So that was nice to be able to shoot on some really good goalies.
Okay,
that's good, man. So that you hear how nonchalant he said that, Lance. Like the puck goes in real easy for you, doesn't it, John?
Yeah.
Depends on the night, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you could tell me, like, when you first got to camp, was there somebody that you made some instant chemistry with, or what was it like coming into playing for the Waterloo Blackhawks? What was that first, couple of days like for you?
It was tough. I mean, training camp was kind of a grind, and it was obviously kind of stressful. I had to earn my way to kind of get a big role on the team, and I think pretty early on, I had a chemistry with Orson. I think we kind of went the whole year and played a lot of games together, and he's just a phenomenal passer, and it was pretty easy to score goals when you're playing with him. So.
Always nice to have one of those guys on your side, yeah.
Yeah, there was actually multiple. Like Jakob Altrichter was another one. He's got eyes in the back of his head.
All right. So that's good to have players like that to play with. But yeah, man, cool.
Okay, so John, I want to pick your brain a little bit because we, of course, have some younger viewers that are trying to reach the level of play that you're at. So can you maybe go into detail for us, and breaking down what goes through your mind when you're entering the offensive zone, with or without the puck? What are you looking for? What are you doing? Where are you looking to be? etc.?
I think the main thing for me is just kind of read the defender. I think
Mhm.
a lot of it's on the way their feet are moving, and if they're crossing over, that's usually a good sign for me to go the other way. And yeah, without the puck, I think it's mainly just getting to the middle of the ice. That's where most of the chances are, and I like to use the middle of the ice because you can kind of go wherever you want. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I see you kind of set up sometimes, on the blue line as well on a power play. Sometimes you feel comfortable, I would say, in front of the net. You feel comfortable out at the point. You really can cycle the puck well. It's not just one area of the ice that you really focus on. You seem to be able to move around the ice where you're needed. Like we said, using that hockey IQ and really get to those high impact areas where that puck's going to be even before it gets there. So
Yeah, I think our systems at Waterloo changed multiple times, so it was kind of adapting to those systems and just being in different parts of the ice and that the coaches want us to do for forecheck and stuff like that. So it was fun to learn different ways to forecheck and different ways to get the puck back pretty much.
There you go. That actually leads perfectly into the question that I have for you, John, is that, what was the biggest takeaway from your first year there at Waterloo?
I think it's just maybe like the biggest takeaway I'd say is just like playing with speed and playing with like energy. I think that's something that maybe sometimes I lacked. I think when I was playing my best hockey, I was playing with energy and speed and playing dynamic hockey.
Okay. Was that something that the coaches kind of helped bring out in you, or was that something that you had to work on personally?
I think playing like that is kind of a decision within yourself and just obviously you want to play that dynamic game every night, but that's not always going to be the case. But I'm going to try to play that game as much as I can.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, man. Trust me, when you are playing your dynamic game, boy, you do all right.
Okay. Well, we had the chance earlier this season to ask your future Friars teammate, Logan Sawyer, this. So we want to ask you the same thing. What about Providence College made you choose to take your talents there instead of other places in the NCAA?
I'd say the coaching staff. I think
Okay.
they really showed a lot of interest in me, and I think that's somewhere where I can really round out my game and become a more pro style player and lead myself up to hopefully playing in the NHL one day.
Awesome. Did they have nice facilities? Like I haven't been up to Providence and check it out yet, but
Yeah, it's a smaller school, but yeah,
Yeah.
the facilities are newer for sure, and they are nice. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tools for me to develop there for sure.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what Logan said too. He had the same kind of reaction. Was that yeah, the facilities up there were really nice. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So at least you're going to be in a good area where it's going to promote that, off ice conditioning as well as you know what I mean. And so speaking of some of that kind of stuff, do you have any like strange, do you got to put the right skate on first, do you got to put the left skate on last, do you tape so much tape on the stick, do you got anything crazy, strange, weird, what, anything
Rituals
like
or
that?
superstitions? Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that hockey players are sometimes get a little superstitious.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say I'm a superstitious guy, but I think one thing I do is just left skate before right. That's something I've been doing for a while, and it doesn't really have much meaning behind it. I think that's just my routine. It's not really superstition, but yeah, it's just something I've been doing.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That was a lot
So
tamer than some of the last ones we've heard. How about
yeah,
that?
some of them,
Yeah.
some
I
of
know
them get a little strange.
are pretty superstitious. Yeah.
Yeah, on your
Yeah.
team already, you got guys that are like that on your team?
Yeah, there's a few. There wasn't too many crazy ones though. I've played with guys prior that had some weird ones, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Good
All right.
deal.
Okay. So, of course, nothing is probably set in stone yet for next season with the draft and all coming up. But if you find yourself back in Waterloo, which will probably happen, will you be shooting for any goals setting out for yourself next season? I don't like to possibly, surpassing maybe Joel Pavelski or Jason Blake's goal totals. I mean, anything like that you want to really shoot for?
I'm actually planning to go into Providence next year, so that's
Okay.
the plan for now. So I think that's pretty much set in stone. So
Okay, cool.
it's a different dynamic, obviously, than if I were to go back. It's more of a, once again, earning my role and trying to be the highest performer I can be, and then contribute for the team as much as I can.
All right, that's awesome. From what I saw previous, it was maybe you going the following season. So that's an excellent. That's a new the next step happening sooner than what the one I read. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, that's good.
quick, yeah, for sure.
And it'll be coming quick too. You know what I mean? For sure. For sure. Okay. So now that your season's over, right? Do you find yourself kind of, are you watching the IIHF Worlds? Are you paying attention to what's going on with the draft? Are you getting a little excited? I mean, do you got the butterflies in your stomach? I mean, what's going on now that your season's over?
I think now it's just trying to get ready for the combine first, and just getting stronger and faster, just to get ready for college. Not too much thought on the draft. I've been watching the Worlds a little bit. It's kind of fun to watch, but yeah, it's I haven't really been putting too much focus on it. It's obviously it's a big day, but I think it's not too big of my worries right now.
Okay, so you're gonna attend the combine. That's awesome. Any plans to attend the draft, or is that something you got to be invited to? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm planning on attending. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A fun experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, buddy. Just look, don't forget about us when you make it to the big time, bro. You know
Right.
what?
Yeah. We'll have to maybe check in with you sometime next year when you're up in college
Providence.
there. Yeah.
man.
So
I like the "yeah, buddy" line. I like that one.
He's
Okay.
animated for sure. Yeah.
Well, I was told that I have a bit of enthusiastic passion for this game.
Yeah.
And watching your game, John, really gives us that enthusiastic passion, because it's very rare to see a young talent like yourself to come in and be so very poignant about it, and be so very you play very a much more mature game than what you are presented as. Okay. And that's very, very rare. So thank you very much for being on here, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And viewers, guys, if you haven't already, let me stress again, go check out the website, SteelFlyers.com. Go check out the article that I did about John. It gives you more information into just who this young man is as a player. So, John, good luck to you in the draft. We'll be watching and seeing where you're going to be going for sure. So it's about to get interesting real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your time. It was great talking to you guys.
All right.
Yeah, man. Cool. Like I said, don't forget about us. Like, when you make it big, like, we want to see the players that we have on the show, we follow, and we follow their careers all the way through. You know what I mean? And we follow when you go to the next step. And we'd love to have you back once you get up into Providence and give us, hey, how's it going up there? How's things going? Because we'll be watching. We'll be paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, man. Thank you very much for having us on. Lance, why don't you tell the great folks where we can get you, where we can find you, and how we can get all this great stuff?
Sure, guys. Like I said, you can check me out at SteelFlyers.com. You can check out this show posted on YouTube. You can also listen to it on any podcasting platform. and others. If you like this show, check out some of the others that we've done with many, many great prospects.
For sure, for sure. You can find Lance on X at LanceGreen39. You can find me, SteelFlyers, on X at SteelFlyers52. And you can find all the great stuff at SteelFlyers.com. Thank you all very much for checking out Prospect Watch. Thank you to our great guest, John Mustard, for hopping on and joining from the Waterloo Blackhawks. Also, thank you to Lance Green for being the host with the most. We will catch you all on the next episode of Prospect Watch.